Here's 8 genius ways to declutter faster. Simplifying your home can seem like a daunting task. When you've spent years upon years accumulating stuff, it's easy to get overwhelmed with the sheer amount of time it'll take to declutter your home and finally get that sense of peace and calm you've been craving.
But don't be discouraged. Simplifying the clutter in your house is completely worth it, and there's some genius ways to speed up the decluttering process. Today, we're sharing tips to declutter faster.
First up, start easy. Start in the easiest area of your house. For most people, this will be the bathroom. This is the area where expired beauty products go to be forgotten. It's the area of the house that's almost always the easiest to start decluttering because we typically accumulate an excessive amount of bottles, lotions, and sprays over the years, and the products inside do actually expire. I'll admit that I actually never used to pay much attention to what is written on the backs of products until a few years ago, and I certainly didn't realize that this symbol here actually means once open, use within 6 months, or some have little 12 for 12 months, or sometimes I've seen 18 for 18 months. Products like makeup especially, once open, are exposed to air, and when they're exposed to oxygen, they then start oxidizing. The compounds start to degrade over time, and chemicals can start separating and perish. So if you want some very easy wins for decluttering, start in the bathroom and toss out anything that's past its expiry date. There's no point breaking out in zits because you're using old products. Starting easy is a great way to build momentum and kickstart your decluttering.
It's much better to have a clean slate where you can see and actually use everything you have instead of it piling up in the shadowy corners of your bathroom cabinet. So grab a garbage bag and toss in everything past its expiry, and donate anything you know you're just not going to use. Starting in the easiest areas of the home like this is best because you can grab that low-hanging fruit and build momentum to further simplify your home. In my experience, it's never a good idea to start with the difficult areas like the garage or wardrobe, because there's a lot of sentimental attachment and memories to work through with items in these areas typically. So if you want to declutter faster, start easy, build momentum, and propel yourself into the next phase of simplifying your home with all the motivation and snowballing wins behind you.
Next, our second tip for speeding up your decluttering is by implementing the 12 by 12 rule. This is basically just asking yourself, have I used this in the past 12 months? And do I plan to use it in the next 12 months? If the answer is no, just toss it, either by popping it in your dedicated cell, donate, or trash box. We found that looking back and forward over 12 months is an ideal period of time to think about decluttering something. That's where the 12 by 12 rule was formed. We use it all the time, and when you have a firm rule like this, it really helps by taking out the guesswork because you have a good preset boundary for when you'll declutter something. So if you're serious about decluttering faster, implement the 12 by 12 rule and you'll see your house transform in no time.
Third, donate more. Try to get into the mindset of donating more versus selling. Don't always think you need to sell your things. I know there can be guilt and shame attached to certain items sometimes. If you spent a lot of money on them and have come to realize you never actually use them and they're just collecting dust, but know that the money has already been spent. The thing served its purpose for the time it was needed, and now you're in a new phase of life. When we get caught up about selling items, it can delay the whole decluttering process. From thinking about exactly what you could sell it for, where you should list it, Facebook Marketplace or eBay, if you want to meet up with the buyers in person at your home or in a public place, or if you want to mail out your item in the post and hope that it all goes smoothly. There's many more logistics when it comes to selling your things compared to simply donating them.
Donating is definitely the quickest way to get things out of your house in the most efficient way possible. Just chuck everything in a box and drop it off at your local charity or thrift store. So since this video is all about making the decluttering process as speedy as possible, try donating first. Donate more than sell, and you'll blitz through your decluttering a whole lot faster.
Try to remember that just because you're deciding not to sell something now doesn't mean that you should always hang on to it. It's not a waste, especially if you consider it clutter in your own home, because someone else will 100% love and adore it and get very good use out of it. So donate where you can. It'll save you time, mental energy, and make someone's day finding it at their right time in life in the thrift store.
Now, we just talked about donating where you can, but sometimes money is an important factor for certain things you have laying around your home and you'll want to sell. So yes, donate where you can if you want to save yourself some very real time, but if you are set on selling some things, especially bigger bigger, far more expensive things, then you can certainly do that too. The best and quickest way I've found to do this efficiently is to implement what I call your cell number. This is perhaps one of my most favorite decluttering tips when it comes to speedily decluttering the more difficult things. Setting your cell number. This is the number you set for what you'd get out of bed for, the dollar amount you'd be happy to sell something for instead of donating it.
It's good to set your cell number for what you know you'd easily get for something. For example, if you set your cell number as $50, then anything you go through in your wardrobe that you know you couldn't put on Facebook Marketplace and easily ask $50 for, just donate it. Everyone's cell number will be different. So work out what dollar amount you'd be more than happy to get out of your PJs, leave the house, and arrange to meet up with someone and exchange your item for. When you come across an item in your wardrobe that doesn't fit this criteria of your cell number, simply know it's not worth your time to try and sell it, and just toss it in your donate pile instead. Your time is valuable, and you'll be the best judge of what your time is worth to you. Different seasons of life can also sway this too. For example, popping down to the local store to exchange your dress shoes you've only worn once might be completely worth the $50 because you work from home and it's no fuss popping out. Compare this to working from an office job and only being able to run errands on your precious weekends. You might find $50 just isn't worth it to you right now. So honor your time, know what it's worth to you, and anything that doesn't fall within your cell number for your current phase of life, just donate it. It gives you permission and a predetermined agreement that you can more easily and speedily work through decluttering your items.
A good way to think about your cell number is to think of it as your hassle number. What tangible amount of money would you assign to the hassle of trying to sell your stuff? Messaging back and forth, organizing a meetup if it's on Facebook Marketplace, or going to the post office for a package. If an item in your home doesn't reach the minimum threshold of your hassle number or your cell number, then donating it is actually the best use of your time. Try thinking to yourself, if a house elf popped into my room right now and offered me $20 for this shirt, would I rather the $20 or the shirt? The money amount, whatever your cell number is, or the thing. I always find it helpful to think about what the $20 could buy me instead. For example, Josh and I, for that amount of money, could go and grab a coffee and cake at an oceanside cafe and enjoy the view whilst reading a book. Picture what you could buy or use the money for instead. Perhaps it's a nice dinner out with your best friend, or money towards a holiday that you've planned. Having a cell number works wonders. It gives you the freedom and permission to simply donate the things that don't meet your cell number, and it drastically speeds up decluttering.
Next on our list of great tips to declutter faster, we have set a timer. Physically setting a timer can turn anything time-consuming or repetitive instantly more lively. Having a timer set on your phone for even just 5 minutes a day to do a speedy declutter can make a world of difference. So set a timer for however long you want and stick to simply decluttering for that period of time. It's dedicated, solid decluttering time, and you can even turn it into a bit of a game against yourself to see what things you can downsize in that time. Just like that instinctual race against the microwave countdown to get everything else ready for dinner before the ding goes off, putting things on a deadline or a timer like this really does help with speeding up your decluttering. The one caveat we'd say with this one is just keep the shorter timers to the easier rooms to declutter, like the bathroom or pantry, because when it comes to sentimental items or emotional items in other areas of the house, like the clothes in your wardrobe for example, a timer can really stack on the pressure and might be counterintuitive for situations like this. So keep the timer to other areas of your home, ones you can get the easier wins and the thrill of racing around the house like a fairy godmother on speed. Setting a timer will make the whole process a lot faster and a lot more fun if you get others in your household involved too.
Number 6 on our list of genius ways to declutter faster, we've got keep a perpetual donate box in your wardrobe. This one tip alone has made a huge impact on my decluttering journey. For me, clothing has always been the hardest thing to declutter. I tie a lot of feelings and memories to certain outfits, and letting go of certain clothing items, even when I know I'll never wear them again, they're just cluttering up my wardrobe and someone else could get way better use from them. Well, it's been difficult over the years to downsize my wardrobe, but I found that always having a small donate box in my wardrobe means I'm always ready to toss something in that box when the time comes. It's always sitting there, ready for clothes I no longer want or things that didn't hold up to the image that I had in my head. It takes a lot of the effort out of needing to commit a big, oftentimes daunting amount of time to decluttering, one of the most difficult areas of the home. It's low commitment and not at all time intensive. It's just a box sitting there ready if you happen to find you're always reaching past a certain item because perhaps it's itchy or the shoulder seams sit weird or it's too short. If it clicks one day that you're always reaching past that specific item, the box is right there calling for it. It'll take half a second to take it off the hanger and toss it in the box. Having a perpetual donate box in your wardrobe makes you 5% more mindful every time you open your wardrobe, and it 100% is the best way to speed things up in the overall decluttering process and save you time on one of the most difficult areas of the house. So try placing a donate box or bag in your wardrobe and see how it changes how you declutter.
Just jumping in here quickly to say that if you're still watching at this point, thank you. And if you're enjoying this video, we'd love it if you would give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers and your support means the world to us. We were checking out our analytics today and see that those of you who watch our videos, a little over 90% of you aren't subscribed yet. So if you're finding value in our simple living videos, make sure you subscribe. We love making these videos and your support really does make a difference. Thanks. Now back to the video.
Second to last on our list of ways to declutter faster, as number 7, we've got know the difference between organizing and decluttering. This one might seem a little obvious at first, but when it comes time to decluttering, there's definitely the urge to organize instead of actually declutter. The desire to buy more for things like plastic storage bins can actually be quite strong when you're decluttering because you want everything neat and tidy right away. But try to be mindful of the difference between organizing and decluttering. Decluttering is primarily getting rid of things, and organizing is actually about just sorting things in a neat way. Don't try and split your focus on organizing. Your goal is to declutter. Decluttering should always come first. Downsize things first and tidying or organizing comes after. If you try to do both at the same time, it will slow you down and even slow down your decluttering progress. So declutter first and forget about organizing until well after you've swept through your entire room and ridded it of its clutter. It's the quickest and fastest way to do things.
Lucky last on our list of genius ways to declutter faster, have a revisit in 12 months box. This is exactly as it sounds. Have a box that you place your not sure you want to declutter items in and place it somewhere out of sight for 12 months. This is reserved for those items in your home you're really on the fence about and simply cannot decide to part with at that moment. Put them in your basement or attic or even at the back of a closet and pop it in your calendar to revisit the box in 12 months time. If by then you find you barely remember what's in the box and the fact that you didn't miss anything at all, then you instantly have a box to donate to your favorite thrift store. The maybe items are the tricky ones. They're the ones you don't know if you'll do without and don't want to spend precious money to buy them again. They're the ones you know you'll never use, but you can never seem to just part with. So try to think of this revisiting box as off in the void for 12 months. If you ever find you really need something from the box some months down the line, go get it out. That's totally fine. Remember, clutter is only ever the things that you don't love, need, or use. So if you're using it, then it's not clutter.
I find this revisiting box a great idea. It's a way to place some distance between you and the difficult to part with items. Like we mentioned earlier in the 12 by 12 rule, a year is a great period of time to know if you'll actually miss something. It gets you through the gambit of holidays and seasons, so you'll know with confidence if you'll actually really need anything in the box. And you'll know with high certainty that you'll not need to spend money on that kind of item again in the future.
So there we go, our 8 genius ways to declutter faster. We hope this helps with your decluttering. Let us know if any of these resonated with you and if you have any other fantastic decluttering tips. Make sure to share them below and let's share the knowledge to help others simplify their home.
Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like more of these kinds of videos. And until next time, bye. Sometimes I feel like I look like Hagrid. Do you feel like that?
No.
I mean, not you, because you have no hair. Do you feel like I look like Hagrid?
No, you don't look like Hagrid.
Okay, well that's good for me.